You place the food outside, like you always do. A small handful of seed, a little water, in the birdbath, the same quiet corner of the yard, where yesterday, tiny wings were moving everywhere. But today, nothing comes. No sparrow on the fence, no pigeon stepping through the grass, no robin watching from the branch. The yard feels strangely empty, almost like something invisible has passed through it. At first, you think maybe the birds found food somewhere else. Maybe the weather changed. Maybe they will come back later. But what if they are not gone by accident? What if they saw something, heard something, or remembered something about you? Birds are not mindless visitors. They notice patterns. They remember danger. They judge whether your space feels safe enough to enter. And the frightening part is this: most people never realize they are teaching birds to fear them. You may think your backyard is peaceful. A feeder hanging near the window. A few bushes moving in the wind. A chair where you sit with your coffee, while birds come and go. But to a bird, your yard is not just a yard. It is a map of risk. Every movement matters. Every sound matters. Every shadow, smell, object, and routine becomes a signal. While you are watching birds for beauty, they are watching you for survival. They do not have the luxury of ignoring danger. A bird that waits too long, trusts too easily, or lands in the wrong place may not get a second chance. So when birds suddenly stop visiting, it may not be random. It may be a message. Maybe they noticed your quick movements. Maybe they heard loud sounds near the feeder. Maybe the food changed. Maybe the place that once felt safe now feels like a trap. And once you understand how birds read your behavior, your backyard will never look the same again. The first habit seems harmless, but to a bird, it can feel like an attack. At first, it looks simple. You see a bird land near the feeder, and your instinct is to move closer. Maybe you step toward the window. Maybe you lift your phone. Maybe you rush outside to refill the seed before it flies away. But to the bird, your movement does not feel friendly. It feels fast, large, unpredictable. And in the bird's world, sudden movement usually means danger. A hawk drops from the sky with speed. A cat lunges from the grass without warning. A predator does not slowly explain itself. It moves first, and the bird survives only if it reacts faster. So when you make a sharp movement near a feeder, bird bath, bush, or nesting area, the bird's body reacts before its mind has time to decide. Its heart jumps, its wings prepare, its brain sends one message: escape. You may forget the moment a few seconds later, but the bird may not. Birds learn from places. If your yard becomes connected with sudden fear, they may begin landing farther away, watching longer, or avoiding the spot completely. One careless movement can change the entire feeling of your yard. But movement is not the only thing that scares them sometimes. Your voice does it first. Imagine being small enough to disappear inside a bush, but surrounded by sounds much bigger than your body. A door slams, someone shouts, a lawn machine starts, loud music shakes the quiet air. You may barely notice it, but the birds do. For birds, sound is not background noise. Sound is survival. They listen for warning calls, wing beats, rustling leaves, snapping twigs, and the strange silence that comes when danger is near. When your yard becomes loud, that natural listening system breaks. A bird cannot relax where it cannot hear clearly. It cannot feed calmly if every sharp sound hides the smaller sounds of a predator. It cannot trust a place where peace keeps getting interrupted. This is why birds may fly away when you talk loudly near the feeder or slam a door behind them. It is not because they dislike humans in a simple way. It is because loud noise creates confusion, and confusion feels dangerous. To you, the sound is normal life. To them, it is a warning. And when a yard becomes too noisy too often, birds may decide that safer silence exists somewhere else. And if noise makes them nervous, the wrong food can make them disappear completely. Many people think feeding birds is always kindness. You put something outside, and if the birds eat it, you assume you have helped. But birds do not only remember food, they remember what happens after food. If the seed is old, damp, or moldy, it can make them sick. If the feeder is dirty, it can spread illness from one bird to another. If you offer bread, salty snacks, sweet processed food, or leftovers. You may fill their stomach without giving their body what it truly needs. And birds learn. A feeding place that once felt rewarding can become uncertain. They may approach, hesitate, test, and leave. Over time, fewer birds come back. From your side, it feels confusing. You wonder why they are ignoring the food. You think maybe they are ungrateful or picky. But from their side, the decision is simple. Safe food means energy. Bad food means risk. And in nature, risk is expensive. A bird cannot afford weakness. If a feeding spot causes sickness, stress, or too much competition, it may avoid not just the food, but the entire area around it. The most dangerous mistake is not always empty feeders. Sometimes it is a full feeder that birds no longer trust. But even perfect food can fail if the place itself feels like a trap. You may place a feeder where you can see it best, right in the open, near the window, in the middle of the yard where every bird is easy to watch. To you, it looks perfect. To a bird, it may look terrifying. Small birds do not only search for food, they search for escape routes. Before they land, they are already calculating where they can flee if danger appears. A nearby shrub, a low branch, a thick hedge, or a tree can make the difference between feeding calmly and feeling exposed. An open feeder may offer food, but it also demands trust. Too much trust. A bird landing in the middle of open space becomes visible from above, from the side, and from behind. Hawks can see it. Cats can stalk it. Humans can approach it. So the bird waits. It watches from a distance. It may come once, grab quickly, and vanish. Or it may decide the reward is not worth the risk. This is where many people misunderstand bird behavior. They think birds are avoiding the food, when actually birds are avoiding the stage. Your feeder may not be empty because birds dislike it. It may be empty because it feels too dangerous to use. And sometimes the danger is not the feeder, it is what you keep near it. Your yard can look peaceful to you, and still feel filled with warnings to a bird. A cat sitting near the feeder. A dog running across the grass. A shiny decoration spinning in the wind. A window reflecting trees so perfectly that a bird sees open sky where there is only glass. Even garden sprays, chemical smells, and strange moving objects can change how birds read the space. They do not need to understand everything. They only need to sense that something feels wrong. A bird that sees a cat once may remember that corner. A bird that crashes into a window may avoid that direction. A bird that smells chemicals or sees other birds panic may treat the whole area differently. You may never connect these things. You may wonder why the birds stopped coming, while the answer is sitting quietly under the feeder, staring up with hunting eyes. The frightening truth is that birds do not wait for danger to become obvious. They survive by reacting early. That means your yard can become unsafe in their minds long before you realize anything has changed. To you, these are normal household details. To a bird, they are invisible warning signs. But the deepest mistake happens when humans get too close to the one place birds protect most. There is something powerful about finding a nest. You see the tiny structure hidden in branches, and suddenly curiosity pulls you closer. You want to look inside. You want to check the eggs. You want to know if the babies are safe. But what feels like care to you may feel like danger to the bird. Nesting season is one of the most sensitive times in a bird's life. The adult bird is not just protecting itself anymore, it is protecting the future. Every strange presence near the nest becomes more serious. Every repeated visit becomes a pattern. If you keep checking, trimming branches, moving leaves, filming too closely, or standing near the nest for too long, the bird may begin to feel that the location has been discovered by danger. And once that fear enters, everything changes. Some birds may reduce visits. Some may become extremely stressed. Some may avoid nesting in that spot again. The sad part is that many people disturb nests because they love birds, not because they want to harm them. But nature does not judge intention the way humans do. A bird does not ask why you came close. It only asks whether its young are safe. And even when you leave the nest alone, one repeated habit can still teach birds not to trust you. Birds are watching more than your actions. They are watching your pattern. They notice when the yard is quiet. They notice when food appears. They notice when people usually come outside. They notice when danger is more likely. To you, your routine may feel random. One day you fill the feeder in the morning, another day at night. Sometimes you move it. Sometimes you clean it. Sometimes you forget it for a week. Then suddenly appear and change everything. But to birds, inconsistency can feel unsafe. Predictability builds trust. A calm yard at the same time each day teaches birds that the space has rhythm. A stable feeder location teaches them where to land, where to watch, and where to escape. But when the pattern keeps changing, birds hesitate. They do not know what to expect. And when a wild animal cannot predict a place, it becomes cautious. This does not mean you must live perfectly for birds. It means that trust is often built through repeated calm signals, slow movements, clean food, safe placement, quiet routines. The birds may not understand you as a person, but they understand patterns around you. Your yard is not just a location. It is a story they keep reading. But there is one final truth. Birds may avoid you not because of one mistake, but because of the story your behavior tells them. This is where the mystery becomes deeper. Birds are not simply reacting to one moment. They are building a survival map. Your movement becomes part of it. Your voice becomes part of it. The feeder, the window, the cat, the noise, the food, the routine, everything joins together into one silent judgment. Safe or unsafe. Come closer or stay away. Return tomorrow or disappear. And the strange thing is, you may never know which moment changed their decision. Maybe it was the day you rushed outside too quickly. Maybe it was the feeder left dirty after rain. Maybe it was the cat hiding under the chair. Maybe it was the nest you checked one time too many. You forgot, but they may have remembered. Some birds are known to recognize individual humans. Many can remember dangerous places, warning sounds, and repeated threats. Their intelligence is not loud like ours. It is quiet, watchful, and shaped by survival. So when birds avoid you, it may not be rejection. It may be memory. It may be caution. It may be the hidden intelligence of a creature that has learned to survive by noticing what humans ignore. And once you understand that, your backyard will never feel ordinary again. So the next time your yard goes quiet, do not see it as an empty space. See it as a message. Somewhere nearby, a bird may be watching from a branch, deciding if it is safe to come closer. It may be reading the angle of your body, the sound of your door, the movement near the feeder, the smell in the garden, the shadow of a pet, or the memory of something that happened days ago. And suddenly, birds no longer feel like simple visitors. They feel like silent judges of the world we create around them. They are not avoiding you because they are cruel. They are not disappearing because they are ungrateful. They are surviving the only way they know how, by remembering danger, trusting patterns, and choosing safety over comfort. That is what makes them so mysterious. They live beside us, but they are always reading a different version of reality. And maybe the real question is not, why did the birds stop coming? Maybe the real question is, what did they notice before you did? If birds have ever suddenly stopped visiting your yard, write your story in the comments. What do you think scared them away? Because maybe they did not disappear forever. Maybe they are still close, watching quietly, waiting to see if you have changed.